The top palaces in the world. King and emperor houses are becoming well-liked tourist destinations. A list of some of the world's most stunning palaces.
Hello everyone. Welcome to AWZ. Don't forget to subscribe our channel.
National Palace of Pena. The earliest European castle in the Romanticism style is the Pena National Palace in Portugal, which King Ferdinand II built in 1842. The Great Lisbon earthquake of 1755 badly damaged the monastery, leaving it in ruins, on which the palace was built. One of Portugal's most popular landmarks, the Pena National Palace has its original red and yellow colors restored. Palace of Mysore. Mysore, an Indian city known as the City of Palaces, is home to several historic palaces, the most well-known of which is Mysore Palace. After the previous palace was destroyed in a fire during a wedding, the new palace was ordered in 1897, and it was finished in 1912. The palace is illuminated with more than 10,000 lamps during the Dasara celebration in the months of September and October, creating an amazing spectacle. Schloss Schönbrunn. One of Vienna's top tourist destinations is the 1,441-room Schönbrunn Palace, which is equal in splendor to Versailles. Leopold I ordered the construction of the palace between 1696 and 1712, and Maria Theresa transformed it into the imperial summer residence. The Privy Garden, the oldest zoo in the world, a maze and labyrinth, and the Gloriette, a marble summerhouse perched on a hill 60 meters high, are just a few of the attractions available at the Palace Park. Summer Palace. The Kunming Lake and Longevity Hill dominate the Summer Palace, which is 15.3 kilometers, 9.3 miles, from the heart of Beijing. The Summer Palace, as its name suggests, served as the imperial rulers of China's retreat from the Forbidden City. In 1750, the gardens underwent a significant expansion that replicated the styles of many palaces and gardens from across China. Kunming Lake was enlarged to resemble Hangzhou's West Lake. Topkapi Palace. Sultan Mehmet the Conqueror first mandated the building of a new home when he conquered Constantinople in 1453. This was to become the Topkapi Palace in the future. From 1465 through 1853, the palace would serve as the Ottoman Sultan's royal residence. The palace complex experienced continuous changes over the years. The complex now consists of numerous smaller structures as well as 4 main courtyards that grow in size. Château de Chambord. This French Renaissance masterpiece is the second most visited chateau in France, after Versailles. There are 84 stairs, 365 fireplaces, and 440 rooms at Château de Chambord. King François I began building the chateau in 1519 so he could hunt in the surrounding woodlands. François I himself spent a total of less than 40 days in the chateau due to its unpopularity as a dwelling due to its chilly and enormous halls. The Versailles Palace. Louis XIII constructed Versailles in 1624 as a hunting lodge. Louis XIV, his successor, transformed the location into one of the greatest palaces in the world, and starting in 1682, he used it to impose absolute dominance over France. When the royal family was forced to return to Paris during the French Revolution in October 1789, the Palace of Versailles continued to serve as the formal abode of the kings of France. Alhambra. The Alhambra, a fortress, palace, and garden complex in southern Spain, is perched on a plateau with a view of Granada. The palace was built by the Nasrid Sultans in the middle of the 14th century and is evidence of the talent of Muslim artisans at that time. The Alhambra is currently one of Spain's top tourist destinations, and many tourists go all the way to Granada only to view it. Potala Palace. The Potala Palace is the largest monumental building in all of Tibet and is located on Marpuri Hill, 130 meters above the Lhasa Valley. It rises a further 170 meters. Although there had already been a palace built here in the 7th century, work on the current palace began in 1645 under the rule of the 5th Dalai Lama and was finished in 1648. This palace is known as Pot Rang Karpo, or the White Palace. Between 1690 and 1694, the Patrang Marpo, or Red Palace, was added. Up until the 14th Dalai Lama fled to India following the Chinese invasion in 1959, the Dalai Lama maintained his home in the Potala Palace. Forbidden City. The Forbidden City, the largest palace complex in the world at 72 hectares, sits in the heart of Beijing. The complex, which was constructed between 1406 and 1420, consists of 980 surviving structures with 8,707 rooms and is encircled by a 10-meter-high wall and a moat that is 6 meters deep. The Gate of Divine Might and Tiananmen Gate are separated by 960 meters. From the Forbidden City until Puyi, the final emperor of China, abdicated, 24 emperors ruled the nation for nearly 500 years. Buckingham Palace. In the heart of London's city of Westminster, you can find Buckingham Palace. Originally known as Buckingham House since it used to be the enormous townhouse of the Duke of Buckingham, it is now the royal residence and administrative center of the monarchy of the United Kingdom. The original townhouse was built in 1703 and purchased by King George III in 1761. After that, it underwent extensive renovations, largely in the 19th century, to become the palace it is today. Winter Palace. Another palace constructed to highlight the authority of Russia's rulers over the 18th, 19th, and 20th centuries is the Winter Palace. From 1732 to 1917, it served as the imperial home of Russia and is situated in St. Petersburg in the northwest of the nation. It has more than 1,500 rooms, 1,886 doors, and 117 stairs, making it one of the largest palaces in the entire world. After a fire in 1837 substantially damaged its interior, it was restored in the typical 19th century Rococo style. Currently, the palace is one of the structures that make up the well-known Hermitage Museum. Winning Palace. In Dresden's Old Town, on the northernmost edge stands a building called the Zwinger Palace. Between 1710 and 1728 in the 18th century, it was built in the Baroque architectural style. It is regarded as one of Germany's most magnificent specimens of Baroque architecture. The Old Picture Gallery in Dresden is located in the Semper Gallery, which was a 19th century addition to the Royal Complex. Some of the most breathtaking old master paintings in Europe can be seen here. Although several of the structures were damaged during World War II, by 1963, they had all been rebuilt. Kensington Palace. The smallest borough in all of London, Kensington and Chelsea, is where Kensington Palace is situated, just west of the city of Westminster. One of London's renowned green lungs, Hyde Park, is just next to the enormous grounds of this building. Since the late 17th century, the palace has served as a royal residence, and some current members of the British royal family still call it home. Queen Victoria was born at the palace in 1819 and spent her whole childhood and adolescence there, making it notable for being the spot where she was born. She prevented the crumbling palace from being destroyed in the second half of the 19th century. The staterooms have been accessible to the public since 1899 and were finally renovated in 1897. The palace continues to be a popular tourist destination in London today. This is all for today. Subscribe our channel for more videos.